Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. I am in Portugal. I'm actually on my honeymoon. After 29 years for our anniversary and our first honeymoon, my wife and I are traveling Portugal. But today I wanted to talk about something that I think is very important, and it's really about how to plan what you're going to plant in your garden, what you're going to seed start, and getting the timing down right. And I'm going to just use this chart. I'm going to do a close-up of it and explain it to you. But if you set this chart up, you'll be able to use the temperatures and figure out when to start all your crops indoors as seed starts, as transplants, really starting in January. I'm in Maryland Zone 7. That's when I begin a lot of my seed starts, more of the herbs and more of the perennial flowers. But this chart is what everybody needs, and it will help you perfect when to start growing indoors. Now the table's pretty straightforward, and it may take, maybe 20 minutes searching online to get all the information that you need. And what I'm basically doing is taking the month January through December down here. This says average day temperature, average night temperature, and for instance January average day temp is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Fahrenheit at night. And if you do a search, your city, your location, and you do historic average for January, you can find that information pretty easily. I don't have an exact place to go. I just kind of did random searches, and I do that for every month so that I can see. Let's just talk about the temperatures first. The progression: January day temperatures 48. When I get to April, the temperatures are getting up to 67. When I get into June, the day temperatures are getting into 84. When you look at the night temperatures, I can see January still 25, March still 34. As we get into May, 53 degrees. Why that is important is because a lot of your transplants are growing nicely indoors, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, but you want to get them into the ground, not so much necessarily when the day temperatures are right, but when the night temperatures start to warm up. When the night temperatures start to stay in the 44 degree, 53 degree here on mine, and I'll do a close-up at the end so you can see everything better. That's when I know my soil temperature is also starting to get into the upper 40s, upper 50s, upper 60s. A lot of your seeds, if you're going to direct sow, need that warmth in the soil to germinate, or your seeds just sit there. So this chart's really helpful for that. It's also helpful that if I grow a tomato indoors, like say I started in January and I get 8 weeks of growth through February, and I go and put it outside in March, well, one, the frost is going to get it. 34 degrees at night is too cold. 44 degrees in April is too cold. With that cold soil temperature, your plants just sit there. You're not really getting a jump on the season. So starting tomatoes and peppers early, before those night temperatures and those soil temperatures start getting into the 50s and 60s, is just a waste of time. So again, using the peppers and tomatoes, because they're warm weather crops, they like upper 50, 60 degrees soil temperature, 50, 60 degree nights, 70 degree days. You would use your chart, and it would tell you that somewhere late April or May is when you want your tomato and peppers to go in, or later, of course. So I would pick, say, May 1st. I would count back 6 to 8 to 10 weeks, depending on what I'm growing. Peppers, I grow a little bit longer indoors for more weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Tomatoes now, I'm actually recommending 6 weeks growth indoors. But that's how you figure it out. You create this chart with the day temperatures going down here, night temperatures going down there, and then across here, I have ground freeze. Is the ground still frozen? Yes, it's still frozen in January, February, March. Is there a frost risk? Yes, all the way through to really about the middle of May. What would I be able to plant here? So I have cool crops. So during these times, I can't grow anything in January and February because the ground is frozen solid. And then I progress into March, April, and May. Yes, I can grow the cool crops. In some places I can grow both. And then as you come down to September, October, I can go back to the cool crops. Warm crops are right next to it. When can I grow those? All the way down the column, and then I just use this for special instructions. So across the top you have last frost date, which is somewhere between April 30th and May 15th in my area, and first frost date, which is somewhere between October 7th and October 21st, even a little bit later nowadays with the way the weather has been. But this is the basic chart that I use to figure out when I put all these different crops into the ground. And you're again looking for when the night temperatures begin to warm, because as the night temperature is warm and then the day temperature is warm and you get those warmer rains, that means your soil temperature is going to rise. So when you're planning to put your tomatoes and peppers into soil that's 50 degrees, 60 degrees, you don't have to use a thermometer. You're looking for several weeks of warmer rains, warmer nights, warmer days, and that's when your soil temperature has gone up. So this chart is really handy. You can plan out whatever you want. You just pick the time that you want that transplant to go into the ground, and then you count back 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, or 12 weeks, depending on what you're growing. I hope that makes sense. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll show you how to grow an entire vegetable garden this year. And if you want to hang on, I'll do a close-up of this chart, and then I'll just show you what's outside my window here in Portugal. Thanks so much for watching. And you can do this several ways, but what's most important are getting the average day temperatures and the average night temperatures, and that's how you can plan when to start your seeds indoors.